Hello everyone, welcome to my podcast. This is your host, Deval Patel, and today we will be discussing Professor Gregory Anderson and his research pertaining to Latin American studies. We will dive into 4 of Professor Anderson's research papers and their contribution to Latin America. Professor Gregory Anderson has devoted his life to furthering many fields of studies, ranging from systematics, also known as the branch of biology that deals with classifying and naming, to the evolution of vascular plants. He is an investigator for the National Science Foundation. Professor Anderson served as the Vice Provost for Research and Graduate Education and was the Dean of UConn's Graduate School. He does research all around the world, but he mainly focuses in research pertaining to Latin America and even Latin American culture. In 2015, Professor Anderson did research within the country of Nicaragua. He noticed that 25% of people bitten by snakes would not survive the encounter. However, after looking at the several different plant species located in Nicaragua, Professor Anderson noticed that there are many different plants that healed some aspects of damage caused by snake bites, like hemorrhages. However, he noticed that the snake doctors located in Nicaragua did not have access to Western medicine and only used local herbal resources that are easily accessible, causing the cure to not be 100% efficient. So Professor Anderson looked at many different local plant species and their effects in order to combine them, creating a very efficient cure, which could be easily followed by several snake doctors in Nicaragua, causing the mortality rate to decrease. In 2012, Professor Gregory Anderson tested 31 plant species in Nicaragua and found that 29 of them tested positive for alkaloids. Alkaloids are organic chemicals very commonly found and used in drugs like opioids. After researching several different concentrations, Professor Anderson found a solution that is able to kill 50% of larvae. This helps the people of Nicaragua to fully utilize their large abundance of plant species. For instance, chemicals found in the plant species could now be used to eliminate larvae from shrimp, which then in turn could be safely consumed by Nicaraguans. In 2014, Professor Gregory Anderson also confirmed that people retain culinary customs when they migrate. He did this by surveying Puerto Rican markets located in Hartford, Connecticut, and then compared it to a market originally based in Puerto Rico. And he noticed that 75% of these crops were very similar to each other. Both markets contain many similar crops, for example, not limited to sugarcane, guava, and pomegranates. One of his early works from 1999 contributes greatly to reproductive biology in Latin America. Professor Anderson researched a rare plant series called Lactoris fernandesiana, which previously had very little research behind it, and when it came to its reproduction, no one knew much about it. Professor Anderson researched and created the basic foundation of understanding the reproduction system of this very rare species, from defining the anatomy of its pollen to why and how the male and female plants interact with each other. He also gives several reasons for why reproduction cannot occur elsewhere and cannot be artificially created. One of his reasons is because there's very little genetic variation among these plants and will fail to reproduce if inbreeding occurs. Thanks for tuning in. I hope everyone enjoyed today's podcast and learned a lot about Professor Anderson and his contributions to Latin American studies.